Welcome to my first healing kitchen. I am Dr. Catherine Oseni, and I will be teaching you how to make my personal favorite all-time bone broth recipe. Yes, we do need bones. We need bones that are grass-fed. We need chicken that are free-range, fish that is wild-caught. We can use fish carcass. But today I chose to use some of my few favorite bones, and those are just some stock pack of grass-fed bones, and I'm showing some of those here. And I also have all-time favorite chicken feet for the collagen, and also the marrow bones. And marrow bones is just so dense in nutrients, so you want to make sure that you have those set of bones. So I get my bones from my local butcher, and I get them thawed and ready to go, washed, and I have them in a bowl. And the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I add apple cider vinegar in the bones once they're in the bowl, because I want to demineralize the bones. The demineralization of the bones is what helps you get all those nutrients from the bone. Okay, so now that I've finished washing my hands after touching the raw meat, we always want to be very careful. This is raw meat, and we don't want to transfer germs, so we wash our hands at all times. So now that we're done with that, I am going to measure in some organic apple cider vinegar. Store brand is okay, as long as it's organic, it's excellent. You want everything organic. And I'm going to tell you why you want everything organic. This actually here is what you're consuming to heal your body. So it's important that you do put everything as much as you can organic in your body. We're not just making a regular bone broth, store-bought brand, you're making something that's going to heal. So we want to get rid of all the contaminants. We want to get rid of all the chemicals. For this purpose, I am actually just going to add 1 to 2 tablespoonfuls of the organic apple cider vinegar. I kind of move this around in the meat, and then I let the meat sit in the refrigerator while this demineralization is going on. I encourage you to wait as much as you can. If you can wait overnight, it's even much better. Now I'm just gonna let this sit over here, mix it around, shake it around as much as you can. So now that we've let this sit in the refrigerator overnight, and I'll set the oven to 400, and then I'm going to let the meat roast. Trust me, you don't want to miss this step. It gives your bone broth an amazing, delicious that the whole family will enjoy. So now watch as I just put the bones, lay them anywhere. I usually would use, you don't need anything much, but if you haven't conditioned your cookware, you might want to just do so with some olive oil or avocado oil or some ghee, if that's your choice. And I'll say that you do have some little juice here. We're going to try to marinate the bones with this juice. All right, so now that I've washed my hands after touching the raw meat, and so I'm going to put this in the oven 30 to 40 minutes. I will be checking on it intermittently to see when it's completely done. I went ahead to preheat the water in the slow cooker, so that way it helps to expedite the process. I put in 12 cups of water. All right, now that our bones are done baking, set a hot pad and get that out of the oven. Here we go. Please do not go in the oven without your mittens. Ooh, this smells really good. Nice and juicy bones. Here is our final product. I wish you could smell this with me. Now you need to get some tongs to move the bones over. These are really hot. And I really want to show us something. Right in my hand and in between my tongues right now are actually the marrow bone. And as you've seen, the marrow is cooked. Nutritionally dense marrow. And if you want to, you need to actually scrape this out and eat this. This is very nutritional, and you don't really want to cook it because it just separates, it disintegrates. You don't even know how much you're getting of it. So I really would highly recommend that you script this out and you feed it to yourself and your family. You could put it on a salad. It's really yummy. It's so, I mean, it's just very filling and you would enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and transfer this right now. All right, now we've gone to the marrow bones, so let's make sure we set those aside. And you know, some of these bones sometimes you notice they're meaty, they have a lot of meat in it, and that would make a really good, nice dinner. Now, if you notice, I have a little bit of juice that was made from all the bones, and you don't want to waste that. This is so nice, and some of it, yes, does have some of the fat that is separated from your beef, but you want to add that. That's all good to have in your soup. All right, now that we have all the bones in the preheated water and everything is nicely submerged in the water, I am now going to add on some of what I call my initial phase of nutrient building, herbs and veggies. For this demonstration, I am going to use one whole onion, and this is already pre-cut here. And honestly, this is the fun part, that if you have little children, they just love this. They can just help you dump them in there. So this pre-cut is one whole onion pre-cut already. So I have the onions in there because you want the flavor. And this initial nutrient building herbs and vegetables are what is going to build the really immune fighting and nutritionally dense broth. I'm also about to add on some green bell peppers, and all this are organic green bell peppers, organic onions, and here we go. Just dump it all in. Like I said, this is just the fun part of it. Now I'm also going to dump in celery as well. Celery is amazing, wonderful, anti-inflammatory as well. I'm going to put in some ginger, and this is pre-washed. They're all pre-washed. Ginger, and I'm going to grab my turmeric. This are both organic ginger and turmeric, very powerful anti-inflammatory agents. And what I do is, if I get them organic, I just wash them, dry them, and I actually grate them in with the skin to get all the nutrients out of this ginger. So what I do here is I just go ahead and I just grate some of this wonderful, nutritionally dense, I just love. You can smell that. Wish you could smell this with me. Smells yum. And just kind of smell, just grate some of that ginger in there so I can cook in it and give it some flavor. Ginger, I must say, is very spicy. If you don't really want it too spicy, you might not want to put too much of that. So just a little bit, depends on how spicy you like it. Now I'm going to move on to some turmeric that I pre-grated, and it was nice and orange, and it has gone through the oxidation process. And can you believe this? It's not brown. But just for the sake of this demonstration, I would like to kind of just grate some fresh turmeric in this. And again, it's a part of my organic turmeric root, already pre-washed and dried. And I just like to grate some right in the pot, right into my slow cooker. I'm going to add a little bit of green onions. Just a little bit, just not that much, just a sprinkle. And if you like a little bit of spice, you can put a little bit of jalapeno if you want to, just for that flavor, just maybe one or two. And then I'm just going to take some of this. This is the Himalayan pink salt. Amazing, wonderful, 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 wonderful seasoner. You don't need anything else. It contains over 85 nutrients, 85 minerals. You don't need anything else. You just want to get a little pinch of that. And I'm also going to add a little tiny pinch of black pepper. And these are optional. You don't have to. The flavor is enough. And one last thing I'm going to add that I love to finish off it is my good friend garlic. Garlic. So can you imagine all these herbs, all these powerful anti-inflammatory herbs that we're putting into all this? So I'm just going to go ahead and just grate some of that powerful deals into this recipe. I don't want too much because not everybody likes that. I'm just going to give it a little bit of that flavor. I am going to go ahead and let this start to cook We're set to 24 hours, and then we'll come back to this at the end of 24 hours. All right, so now I am going to show us how to get the marrow bones out of your bones. And here is one of the marrow bones, and this has probably the most. And what I normally do is once your bone has cooled off, I kind of start from the edge of the bone and just go around gently. It's a gentle, because it's very tender. And just go around, scraping around it so I can get it out. And if you've really baked this long enough, it should just pop out. And here it is. Boom. And that's your marrow. And that's what you have. Just you'll have some more in there. You might want to scrape that more out. Full of a lot of really good nutrients. So here it is, all the marrow, and there you go. All right, friends, now that we've let our broth slow cook for 24 hours, I can smell the aroma. Oh my gosh, this is so ready. But remember I told you about the initial phase of the amazing body-nourishing vegetables and herbs? Now I have the final phase to add on for an additional 30 minutes. So I have the herbs to show you. In my bowl, I have the thyme, which have all been pre-rinsed and washed. They're all organic, so I didn't have to use my veggie wash. So just use this. And with the rosemary, and now I'll transfer that into a ready slow cooker. Sprinkle it in. Let it sit. And I'm also going to take some of the parsley. Depends on how much you like. I like Italian parsley the best. I'll actually hold on to this and just take some. And I like the flavor of the Italian parsley. And I'm just going to get some of that, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be pre-measured. I can smell that already. So all I need to do is just cover this on, set this on for 30 minutes, and then we're good to go for another 30 minutes. And then we'll come back to our flavorful and very savory bone broth. All right, now that it's cooked for 30 minutes, now that we have all that setting in and ready to go, our bone broth is finally done. So I'm going to set the lid aside, and I will take a little piece of this so I can try some of this and see if we need anything else to add some more salt for more taste. I always love to add some herb to my little deal. Oh my goodness, it smells so great. Well, so now I'm going to do some testing, see how well this came out. This is really good. Very, very rich. And I can really taste. Yes, this is really what I like. I think I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more sea salt just to kind of finish it off. I really don't like to do too much. And also, let me just teach you a little trick. If you ever feel dehydrated or your children are dehydrated, it's sports time, and you really can't get to any kind of healthy, homemade electrolyte drink that you made yourself, honestly, take a pinch of the salt and put in your water, and it is very refreshing. As long as it's the pink Himalayan sea salt that is unadulterated, just really from the ocean, this is really great. Just a little pinch of that gets about 85 minerals back into the body. So I'm just going to add, just because of that, I'm just going to add a little more pinch, because I think that would really be really helpful. So I think with that, that ends our class for today. Thank you so much.